Hello and welcome to today's podcast. Absolutely, Mary and Lois. Great to be back. Lois, today, what are we going to talk about today?
Well, you suggested that this time we talk about something that is quite a serious subject, but something we've been reflecting on, which is loneliness.
Yeah, loneliness. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of it about, and it isn't just confined to one age group. We tend to think that older people, those more senior in age, are lonely. But
Yeah.
it affects far more people than that.
Yeah, Mother Teresa, she said something, didn't she, about it with all the kind of with the wars and the poverty and um the plights in the world. The worst form of poverty, I think she said, was loneliness.
How interesting.
Mm,
I never
yeah,
realised she said, I
yeah,
love Mother Teresa and her sayings and how she lived her
yeah.
life, but I didn't know she'd
No.
said that.
I mean, that's not a quote. That's just my take on what she said. I think she was just
Yeah,
highlighting really the just the extreme awfulness of loneliness and how it can be and the isolation that it causes and how it affects our mental health and how it affects our sense of worth,
yeah.
our place in the world, um and it becomes um so absorbed in our daily lives. It can also, as much as we long to be connected with others, can also stop us from being connected with others. We lose confidence and become very insular.
I think so. But something we were talking about earlier is, you know, people who live on their own, and I'm one of them. I don't feel lonely. And add to that I am quite an introvert and at ease with myself. A lot of people aren't, by the way, but I'm at ease with myself.
Hmm.
That being alone doesn't mean I'm lonely.
No, I can relate to that. Um, yeah, I was just saying this to Lois earlier that I always, when I look back to when I was very young, which is a very long time ago now, I I think I was quite a lonely child. I didn't have that sort of connectedness at home. I didn't feel that sense of belonging. There wasn't a lot of love flying around the household that I grew up in.
Mm.
Um, and so you could say I was quite a lonely child, but actually, I think that's changed because being much older now and looking back on my life, I can see that I never really ever felt on my own, not really. I always felt spiritually that something was there. I now know for me that was God.
Yeah.
And I think for me that's always been my saving grace in that sense. I
Yes.
quite like being on my own at times.
Yeah.
And I like to retreat. I always felt in my teenage years and up, I was quite an extrovert.
Mm.
People would say I was an extrovert,
Mm.
and you could say, well, to some degree, I like to, go to a party, have a good laugh, be the center of attention. I don't mind the camera on me right now, you know. Um, but actually, I think in the latter part of my life, I can see that life has changed. I've become a bit different in that I've developed more of that reflective side and that sort of introverted side. I need to retreat from people to get, to
Yes.
become
Yes.
kind of
And
refueled.
yes. And I identify with that, Mary, because I've always, on reflecting on my life, and interestingly enough, I was an only child, and I think people feared that I was lonely, but I never felt like
Yeah.
that. I was more than happy to be an only child. In fact, I got all the presents that I got probably because I was an only
Yes.
child. That's a bit selfish. But also, um, I've got the luxury, like you, of going out and socializing. We both have that luxury, don't we, compared to some.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I have to retreat.
Mm.
I get really
I
I
get
don't know
that.
what the word is, but
Mm.
I get really filled up with socializing, and I get to a point and I say, I've really got to go home. I
Yeah.
really, really
Yeah.
need time on my own
Yeah.
to regroup
Yeah.
and to reflect and to, yeah, come back to myself somehow.
It's good, isn't it, when you figure that out about yourself? I didn't used to know that, but now,
No.
oh yeah. So when we went to the synod the other week,
Oh,
me and you,
yes.
oh, it's a
Synod.
big thing that the Methodists do. It's a long day. Um, anyway, all those people, and there were quite a few there, wasn't quite over 100, wasn't it?
150, I
Right,
think,
okay.
probably.
And then it's a busy day, and there's a lot going on, and the speakers and people and people. And then, when we got back, and we left at 7:30 in the morning, didn't we? By the time we got back, I needed to lie down in a dark room. I'd had enough of people. I didn't ever want to see another person again. Not for a while.
But you know what I think part of that socializing
Yeah,
that happened on that day was we were both meeting lots of people that either we didn't know
yeah.
or hadn't seen for some time. And there was a
A lot
lot of
catching up. Yeah.
information to absorb simply by conversations with individuals, leave alone the workshops
Yeah.
and the worship that we took part
Because
in.
I looked across at you, and you were with a different person every few minutes, and you looked. So
Now, but
everyone wanted a piece of Lois that day.
oh, I
They
wouldn't
did.
say. I think that's a bit of an exaggeration. I find it exhausting.
It is
That's the
exhausting.
point.
Yeah, it is
And
exhausting.
although probably people see me as quite good at that networking thing, as they call it,
And you
boy, do
are,
I have to come
but you're
back.
tired after. Yeah,
Oh
yeah,
my goodness
yeah.
me, I need to go back though
But
to
you wouldn't want it any other way, would you? Because I don't think I would either. I love being around people.
yes,
It's not that at all. It's about learning to look after yourself as
it is
well,
learned.
isn't
It
it?
certainly is,
Yeah,
Mary.
yeah. So
It certainly
we
is,
are who
yeah.
we are, and we celebrate who we are, but we need to also take a step back and look after ourselves. Where do we need to go? What do we need for us? Individually, what do you
Mm,
need for you?
mm, mm.
You know?
Now we have this idea in Methodism that we are so-called reflective
Oh,
practitioners. I
okay.
think it's in the NHS
It
as
is in
well,
the
actually.
NHS.
And we learn, whether we like it or not, to reflect on practice and to
Yeah.
reflect on what is good for us.
Mm.
Now, to come back to the loneliness thing, I always make a bit of a joke of it, but I say, well, I live alone, and if I want to eat fish and chips in bed, I can do that.
You can.
And
Yeah.
nobody is going to
Messy.
say, no, Lois, you shouldn't be doing that. I don't eat fish and chips in bed. But if I
I
want,
didn't think you did.
the choice is there, isn't
Yeah, of
it?
course it is. Yeah, absolutely.
And
Yeah.
if I want to, be around in my duvet or my dressing gown all day,
You can.
I can. It gets a bit embarrassing when somebody calls.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Yeah.
But for a lot of people, to be serious a moment, for a lot of people, loneliness is not a choice for them
No,
to be alone.
no, that's right. So many people are isolated, aren't they, for all sorts of reasons. Um, in their own homes and from the rest of the community for reasons we don't know all about, but disablement, mental health.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, there's all sorts of stuff, isn't there, that stops people from being able to, be out there and perhaps, connect with others in the community. Yeah,
Yeah, it's difficult. One of
it's
one
hard
of
for
the
them.
groups, I was reading a paper actually about it last year. One of the groups who feel isolated are new mums, you know.
Yeah, yeah, you wouldn't think it, would you? With because I look around and most people are there are more people on their phones than you see having conversations. If you walk out,
That's another issue,
it
isn't
is
it?
another issue, but you see that. And I guess the you might assume that, young mums or young people or whatever on their phones, that they gain access to things that are happening in the community and, pop along or integrate in that sense through what they're accessing on their phone. But in fact, it doesn't always do that, does it? It does quite the opposite,
Yeah,
because you become quite individualized, don't you? Because you're watching um, what's going on in the world
mm,
from that phone, but you're not connecting with a human person. And we
no,
are humans for a reason, aren't we?
yeah,
We were meant to be
yeah,
together
yes.
in community,
But
in a
also,
sense. And I guess that's the issue then, isn't it?
yeah, it is the issue. And I think also to put it in the context of our faith, if the Christian faith is about nothing else, it's about relationship,
Absolutely, yeah.
relationship with God, but also relationship with each other.
Yes, it is. And we say that knowing that that can and is a really helpful thing for us, but recognizing that that's not always possible for everyone if they are socially isolated for
Yes,
whatever reason. So I
yeah,
want to say that
yes,
it's one thing understanding it, it's another thing actually doing something different isn't
yeah.
always easy, is it? When
I,
you're
I think as well what we're talking about is a sense of belonging.
oh, belonging, yeah, we it's so important, isn't it, to feel that we belong to something or somewhat. It's in any situation. I think belonging is really important as human beings, isn't it?
And I think belonging means that people know you and care for you,
Yeah,
hopefully.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
And, to be with a group of people who know you through and through,
yeah, yeah,
but still want to be there for you and caring for you.
yeah, of course.
Um, I do think that that is an important part of our tradition. Do you think?
I totally agree. Yes, and I feel I mean I haven't known Lois that long, have I? Just under a year, isn't it? Really?
Just about
And
over,
I
just
feel
over
when
here.
I meet with you, I feel a sense of belonging,
Good.
and that's community, isn't it? Even if
Yeah.
it's just with one other person.
Yes.
Um, so, and then we the reason we're doing the podcast is because we talk about absolutely everything, and it was through us connecting and
Mm.
talking about absolutely everything that's brought us to do
It
this
has. It
and
has.
to name it as such. So belonging is incredibly important. It gives us a real sense of identity, worth, a place in the world. It gives us a
Mm.
place, a purpose, and a place in
Mm.
the world, doesn't
Mm.
it? When we
Mm.
feel that we belong to somewhere.
Yes, it is. The other thing that's coming to me is when I moved to Yorkshire, and I used to use the bus service there, and the transport service was very good, and I used to use the train. You could stand next to somebody at a bus stop or sit on a train with somebody, and by the time you got off
Yeah,
with Yorkshire folk, they knew your
yeah,
story and I knew their story, and they've got quite a reputation for
yeah.
that. I don't always find that here.
No,
Maybe your experience is different. There's a little bit, people are quite reserved.
they
Not
are.
not just here either, I know.
Yeah.
And I've heard people say that they live in a big city, but they're really lonely.
Oh, for sure, yeah. I mean, I talk to everybody, even people I don't know. I'll go into a shop and I speak to them and I'll say, "Oh, look at the, oh, what a day, isn't it? Isn't it windy out
Yeah,
there?"
I
Or,
tend to.
I'm a bit like
Yeah,
that,
yeah,
just
we both
passing the
are.
day
Yeah,
type of thing,
yeah,
They might not even respond to my still, they
yeah,
might not respond, but I'll still speak. I
yeah.
just think it's
Do
just
you,
part of who I am, really.
do you know when I'm stuck behind somebody in a supermarket queue,
Yeah.
and it's an older person having a conversation with the person on the till,
Hmm.
and people behind me are getting really annoyed, and I think this may be the only conversation
Yeah.
that old person has
Oh,
that
yeah.
day.
Yeah. Yeah.
They may have phone calls, and I don't know their circumstances,
Yeah.
but the way I look at it is that may be that conversation of the day.
Yeah. Yeah. Because where was it? I was somewhere. And it was noticed that people don't say like hello or good morning anymore. Well, I say they don't say it anymore, but you don't see it happen as much. It used to be part of our everyday language when we were kids, or
Yeah,
younger.
yeah,
Everybody said that good morning as you
yeah,
walked along
yeah,
into the shop or
yeah,
along the road or
yeah.
whatever. And I think that's really important. We need to bring it back, everyone. Bring back saying hello and good morning. It's so important, isn't it?
And
For people to be
smile.
acknowledged and smile. Yeah, like good morning. We need to do that more, don't we? I think
We
that's really
do.
just like it almost feels like a throwaway greeting, but it
Mm.
carries that sense of connectedness,
I
doesn't
love I
it?
love when I walk, and we've got a footpath from here into Cheddar, into the village there. And I love walking in. And generally, to be fair, people will say, including visitors, good morning,
Yeah,
good morning, good morning.
yeah,
Um, but for a lot of people, as we're saying, that isn't possible. And we just wanted to
yeah,
recognise that issue in our society for young people, uh, for mums, for people as they get older.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
there's a job of work to be done.
Yeah, and it's just checking in, isn't it? And check with your neighbour. Are they all right? Is everybody okay? Do you need anything? Or even just hello. Although those things are really important, if you're able to do it, I think
Yeah,
it's
I
important
think
to try and
so.
stay connected.
I think so.
And it's also okay, for those of us who need to retreat and to refuel and to re-energize ourselves, to
Oh,
take some
yes.
time out and do that.
Oh, yeah.
And then, but don't stop being your lovely selves, is what we're
Mm,
saying. Just
mm.
remember others and don't forget to say hello and good morning and good day, as they say in Australia.
Today.
Good day.
Shemai in Wales.
Oh, is it now?
Shemai.
Right. Well, on that note, then, we better say our goodbyes. Have a lovely day. Shemai, everyone, and
Shemai.
goodbye, everyone.